Hi everyone. Hi Charlie.
Hey Charlie.
Hello.
How cool is this?
That is stunning.
Hello
Look
there.
at that. Well, we obviously just saw a really cool video about it,
Gerade erst
and I'll be
gestartet.
the first to
Es
say
geht
there is
los.
an amazing influence of Mexican car culture and music literally splayed right across the front, isn't that right?
Absolutely. It just feels like it's a part of the Horizon Festival, like it's just dropped out of the game into your lap.
Absolutely.
Absolutely love it.
And there's so much we do want to show the fans, and it's been quite difficult to decide where to start. So can you maybe tell us a bit more about the game, Mike?
Sure, yeah. So Forza Horizon 5 is bringing the Horizon Festival's unique brand of fun and freedom to beautiful and vibrant Mexico. Players are going to set out across the largest, most diverse open world we've ever built in hundreds of the world's most beautiful and exciting cars.
Yeah, and people think that Mexico is just a desert or a beach, but there's so much more to it, isn't there?
That's right. Even though it does have pretty awesome beaches and a number of amazing deserts, it also has vast canyons, hidden temples, awesome, beautiful historic cities, and even a towering snow-capped volcano, the highest point we've ever had in a Horizon game.
So you've talked about how Forza Horizon 5 showcases powerful, all-new graphical features, but what more can you tell us about that?
So yeah, our Mexican HDR sky captures really illuminate the world to the point where you feel like you're really there. And thanks to the Xbox Series X and S, ray tracing is utilized in Forza Vista to really make our cars look more true to real life. You'll encounter the smallest of details as you travel throughout the world, all rendered in striking realism.
Oh, that's such an exciting overview. I cannot wait. And next up is something we know that Forza Horizon fans have definitely been waiting for the most. Mike, what exactly is that?
Yeah, that's right. We are about to reveal the cover of Forza Horizon 5, featuring
Oh,
the
jetzt geht's
incredible
los.
Mercedes AMG 1
Gespannt.
and the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands. Should we take a look?
Let's do it, yeah.
Es wird der. Das hätten sie auch direkt sagen können, dass es der wird. Meine Güte. Beim Bronco habe ich mir fast schon gedacht. Wow, sieht das sehr geil aus. Das sieht sehr, sehr geil aus. Und ich feiere das Lied immer noch. Ich weiß noch, wird das Lied wahrscheinlich gesperrt werden, aber egal. Ich muss das mal noch ein bisschen leiser machen. Für euch, so. Oh, das ist das Cover, okay.
Now, those are two very different ways to explore Mexico. So what I want to know is why those two cars were chosen and what players can expect when they get behind the wheel.
Yeah, so those differences are exactly why we chose them. The Mercedes AMG 1 marks the first time a car features Formula One hybrid technology almost one-to-one from track to the street. And with the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands, that's primed for rugged off-roading across Mexico's vast terrain.
And I'm certain people can't wait to see more of what these cars can do in the game, so I don't think we should keep them waiting any longer. Mike, can you tell us about what we're about to see next?
Yes, so in a few moments' time, we'll be kicking off a Forza Horizon 5 Let's Go stream, and everybody should check that out for a big deep dive into loads of new content and features from Forza Horizon 5. But before that, we have 8 minutes of brand new gameplay where we're going to see both the Mercedes AMG 1 and the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands. And in typical Horizon fashion, we are going to see active volcanoes, cars jumping out of cargo planes, and a race under beautiful Mexican skies.
Ich wollte schon sagen, wir
all the
jetzt
way
einfach
to
nur
the
Pause
Horizon
machen, ohne
Festival.
was zu zeigen.
Should we check it out?
I think we should.
Mann. Oh, das wird das, so ein spezielles Rennen da. To jump into... War das der Start vom Spiel? Ich könnte es mir vorstellen, dass das der Start vom Spiel ist. Oder es ist einfach nur ein spezielles Event, das kann auch sein.
Here we take control of the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands, atop of the towering, snow-capped Gran Caldera volcano.
See you on the other side!
Get to Super Circuit, okay. Jetzt müssen wir das wieder ein bisschen leiser machen, das war ein bisschen laut bei mir selbst. So. Ich hoffe, von Ton für euch passt das alles, wenn ich schreibt in den Chat. Es ist halt leider wegen Streamqualität und so jetzt nicht ganz so schön, aber man sieht halt, Foxy, danke für den Follow, willkommen. Man sieht trotzdem, wie es am Ende aussehen wird, auch wenn es halt leider kein 4K ist. Das ist sehr interessant mit dem Flugzeug. Wie gesagt, ich kann mir gut vorstellen, dass das der Start vom Spiel ist.
So now we see the 2020 Corvette Stingray tearing up the asphalt towards a dust storm in the Mexican farmland.
Outtrack the storm! No sigue adelante! Keep going!
Und jetzt fahren wir in den Sandsturm rein. Bin ich jetzt auch noch mal gespannt, wie das im Gameplay tatsächlich aussieht dann.
Okay! There's no other way around! We've got to go through it!
Alter, man sieht wirklich gar nichts gefühlt. Alter Schwede. War ist schon sehr fett, die C8. Sehr geil. Jetzt kommt noch einer. Ah, der Porsche. Ah, Flamingos. Versenkt.
Next up is the Porsche 911 Desert Flyer, crashing through the dense jungle tree canopy.
Flamingos!
Get to the temple, okay. Da kommt noch einer. Ich finde es interessant, wo das Kennzeichen bei dem Porsche sitzt. So weit oben. Oh, das Wasser sieht sehr geil aus, finde ich. Es hat eine schöne Farbe. Da kommt noch einer. Highway to Horizon. Ja, da kommt noch einer. Alright, Jesko. Jetzt kommt der AMG One. Ja, es ist der Anfang vom Spiel. Race to the Festival. Interessant.
Interessant.
es ist mal was anderes. Also es ist gefühlt anders als bisher die Anfänge, zumindest so in Forza Horizon 4, was ich mich gerade erinnern kann, in Forza Horizon 3. Aber gefällt mir, glaube ich, ganz gut.
If you've just arrived at Horizon Mexico, then you are in for a treat, my friend. Get ready for the biggest Horizon adventure of your life.
Ford GT.
Well, that is the last inbound cargo flight, racing neck and neck with an AMG 1.
Ich bin mal gespannt, welche Fahrzeuge wir dann noch gleich zu Gesicht bekommen. Das sind ja jetzt alles bisher so Fahrzeuge, die wir bereits kennen.
Yourselves in Horizon. I've seen this driver before, and trust me,
Und da wären wir. Alter Schwede. So, jetzt geht erstmal eine Pause, ey. So viel dazu. Ah, goddammit. Aber mir fällt gerade was auf, ich wollte, nein, ich wollte nicht den Stream aufmachen, ich wollte das hier aufmachen, so. Ah, es geht weiter, okay, alles gut.
Well,
Dachte schon.
that was absolutely incredible, and I know I for sure will never get tired of cars parachuting out of planes anytime soon. But I am going to need a minute to process all the amazing gameplay we just watched, which works out just fine because we need to welcome everyone who just is joining us right now. So for those of you who just turned up, we have just wrapped the Gamescom 2021 Xbox stream and have so much more content to cover, so please sit back and enjoy our latest episode of Forza Horizon 5 Let's Go live with Playground Games. We have an excellent show coming your way. So first, in case you missed it, we're going to be recapping the major Gamescom announcements from just a few moments ago, as well as taking a closer look at the Forza Horizon 5 Limited Edition Xbox wireless controller and the initial drive gameplay. Then we'll take the freshly announced cover cars for a bit of a spin and debut a brand new showcase event, as well as a few more cars along the way.
Okay.
So, Mike and Don, that was all very, very exciting, but I think first of all we need to talk a bit more about the controller, because wow, what a statement. Can you tell us a little bit more about how it came to be?
Yes, so this is it. This is the
There it
Forza
is.
Horizon 5 Limited Edition Xbox wireless controller, to give it its full title. Yeah, so it was probably around about over 18 months ago now, wasn't it? The hardware team approached us and said they really wanted to produce a limited edition controller for Forza Horizon 5, and obviously we were like, yes.
Absolutely.
Now, we really love how it's come together. It just brings so much vibrancy and colour. It just feels like it's a little piece of the Horizon Festival that's like plopped out of the screen and landed in your lap. Loads of cool
Ich finde, der passt zum Spiel, aber es ist nichts persönlich, was ich mir jetzt kaufen würde, glaube ich.
I think integrating the stuff that we've seen in the initial drive with
Nicht
the
meins.
powder explosions and the colors on the car, on the cargo plane and whatnot, and integrating that into the controller has been
Mir persönlich zu bunt.
And for anyone else who maybe didn't pick up on camera, but the controller is also translucent as well, which I get really nerdy over translucent controllers. So I just want, in case anyone missed that detail, it is. And there is an additional detail as well, because it also comes with some exclusive car DLC, right?
It does. Yeah. So while we're on the translucency, it has a Forza logo inside it, and this thing down here
Warte,
is
was?
like brightly coloured.
Exclusive cars?
That, so thank you.
There you go. Should we roll a VT on the video? Yeah, so those people who purchase the controller will also get some exclusive DLC. Part of that is the Forza Edition Ford Coupe, which is this amazing car right here. It looks absolutely a real eye-catcher, just like the controller. You can see the paint job on there as well is inspired by the controller, so it will match. You can match out the game and in the game.
Love it.
As we see here as well. because it's got that exposed engine, it really takes advantage of all the ray trace reflections that we've got going on here.
Das heißt, um alle Autos haben zu können, müsstest du dir eigentlich den Controller holen.
You get a
Please.
character cosmetic and an emote, so that when you win an event in your exclusive Forza,
You can let people know you did it on the controller.
Exactly.
You can really rub it in. Now, I know we announced it on the Xbox show, but to confirm, when can people pre-order and get their hands on it?
I believe it might be up for pre-order now on the Microsoft Store. Yeah, if not now, then very, very soon. And other retailers
Moment, ich guck das nebenbei nach.
shortly after that. But I think if you want one now, then jump over to the Microsoft Store.
Perfect. Right. Well, while you go do that, let's
schieb
talk a
erst
little
mal
bit more
rüber.
about the initial drive gameplay, which we just saw, and is, for context, the very first gameplay players will see when they experience Forza Horizon 5. So what was that like? I imagine it's a huge deal finally showing people that part of the game.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a part of the game that we probably spend the
That's
most
what
time
we're
working on. Those initial kind of opening 10 minutes or so. It really, we want to make a statement and set out what Forza Horizon 5 is, what it's going to offer, what great things you're going to experience over the rest of the game, but condensed down into in that instance, an 8-minute run. So you see loads of the world, you see different cars, different driving
Könnte gleich ein Ton kommen, ich
It just
habe
gives you
ein
that
Video aufgemacht.
real
So.
like buffet of flavors that the game will offer
Smorgasbord,
later on.
yes.
Smorgasbord,
Pre-order.
yes.
Yeah, it was really a challenge to try to show as much as we wanted to show without showing everything.
Geschätzter Verkaufspreis 65 €, alter Schwede.
8-minute time that we wanted for the initial drive.
I love it. So we're actually going to take a quick look back at the highlights of that gameplay in case you missed it. So let's take it away.
Ja gut, das haben wir schon gesehen. Ich zeige euch das mal kurz. Ja, mach mal so. Wie gesagt, das haben wir alle schon gesehen. Hier ist der Controller. Ja. Wie gesagt, meins ist es jetzt nicht so. Ich werde mir den also wahrscheinlich nicht holen, vor allem für 65 €. Also der einzige Grund wäre halt, um die limitierten Sachen zu haben, aber vor allem, dass so viel Geld wert ist, muss jeder für sich selbst wissen. Okay, alles klar. Ich habe nur meine Benachrichtigung mal gecheckt. Sorry, weil ich da gerade ein bisschen rausgepackt bin. Das passiert manchmal, wenn ich zu weit nach unten gucke. Weil meine Webcam etwas über mir sitzt und nach unten guckt. Das heißt, wenn ich selbst nach unten gucke, ja, erkennen die mich nicht mehr. Denke so, hä, ich bin nicht mehr anwesend. Da entstehen solche Fehler. Mein Bildschirm ist leider zu groß einfach, das ist so ein bisschen das Problem dafür, um deine Webcam drauf zu
And
stellen.
that's the start of the game. So you do your initial drive. After all the adrenaline floods through you after that, you actually then get to select your first car, which is what we are now looking at the moment. So can you talk us through the cars that we have on the smorgasbord right now and
Kopfhörer
why
ist zu
they're
kurz.
here as well? Why did we go for these three?
Our second smorgasbord in
Ah,
20 minutes.
I'm going to say it 5 more times. You can count.
Right, okay.
I feel like
well,
it.
keep-
Just
keep-
decided to add it.
Okay, das ist
keep
eine
tracking
krasse
the chat.
Startercast.
Oh no.
So yeah, so these are the three cars you can choose from at the start of the game. First up is the Chevrolet C8 Corvette.
Das Gefühl, die wird von jedem Teil immer extremer.
Absolutely stunning. The insane grip that it manages to hold means it is like a really great car to start the game. It allows you to go super, super fast, but it basically never breaks traction. Next up, we have the Ford Bronco, one of our cover cars, basically the hottest SUV of the year, and then a car that I would say needs no introduction, but we gave it a pretty cool introduction
The
2
best
weeks ago on the previous Let's Go stream. But yes, it is the 2020 Toyota Supra GR.
Also es sind halt wirklich keine Anfängerautos. So.
One interesting
Das
point
ist sehr heftig.
about the car select in this game. In previous Horizons, we had a similar layout of cars at the start of the game, but you can only pick one. It was a bit like choosing your starter Pokemon. This time, whichever one you pick, actually all three get added to your garage. So
Nice.
whether you pick the Supra, the Bronco, or the Corvette, that is only a decision that you have to live with the consequences of for as long as you want to stay in that car, as the other ones will be in your garage and go jump into them whenever you like.
Ach so, du kriegst alle drei direkt.
So we are
Aber du
going
musst
with the
den aussuchen, mit
Bronco
welchem du anfangen willst.
first.
Okay.
Here we go.
Suchst dir nur aus, mit was du anfangen willst.
Soak
Okay.
in. This is so
Yeah.
exciting. What a huge moment this is when you start a Forza game as well. Bronco it is.
This is probably where I spend the most time, is just picking my license plate name.
Und er steigt richtig ein, der Fahrer. Geil.
Oh, absolutely.
It still
Das
feels
finde ich cool.
it's a
Die
decision
Animation, wie der
consequence,
einsteigt.
isn't it? And Andy going with the default. You didn't force us all to sit here watching him select his name. I guess we should intro Andy.
Yeah, so for anyone wondering, you will hear an additional voice on stream today, and that is the wonderful Andy, who is going to be playing, or actually doing the gameplay today. But we decided we didn't want him on camera, so he's just sat off to the side. He looks excellent. If anyone's
You may get a
anyone's
sneak peek of
wondering.
him at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
baby steps.
Yeah,
Work
exactly.
my way up to being on camera.
You'll be on the sofa next time, we promise. Okay, so we've picked the car, we picked the license plate. We're going to our first showcase event. What is this going to be? Talk us through what we're about to drive up to.
Yeah, so we've taken part in the initial drive. We've just seen 4 separate cars drop out of the back of a cargo plane, and we thought, well, what next? Let's go race against that cargo plane. And so this is a showcase event in which we will take on that cargo plane.
Perfect. And we're also hearing some characters talking during this drive as well.
Das ist die
Who are
Autobahn.
they? Do we recognize them? Are they new?
The voice you can hear right now is Scott Tyler, the only character to have appeared in all 5 Horizon games. He is our resident DJ on Horizon Base Arena. He's also the hype man at the festival. And in this instance, if I wasn't talking over it, you'd have heard him saying that he's just been pulled off mic. He's been dragged out of the booth for a reason that might become obvious in just a few minutes' time. We're also in Mullahay now as well, right?
Yeah, we're in Mullahay, which is this this town that's right in the middle of the living desert. Very nice, charming town. And just outside the town is some festival goers.
What are they doing here?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm really excited. I won't lie to you. There's something so exhilarating about the showcases. I cannot wait to see this. What's
Schade,
it
ich hätte
like
gehofft, man
actually
steht wieder
making a
dem
showcase?
jeweiligen
Especially
Fahrzeug
following
gegenüber,
the
um
ones-
den großen
for
Vergleich zu
me,
sehen,
the
aber
ones that
anscheinend
resonate with
nicht.
me the most is Forza Horizon 4. So how does that compare to making 5? I imagine there's an element of one-upping yourself, right?
Oder?
Yeah, that's
How do we do
Yeah.
4 again, but bigger and better?
I mean, that exact sentiment applies to almost the entire game, and it is absolutely a challenge. And some people have said that we need to stop treating that as a strategy, because we will reach a point where we won't be able to one-up ourselves. But right now, we feel like that is future Playground Games' problem, and not one that we need to worry about, because I think this probably is one of our most spectacular showcases we've put together so
Alter
far.
Schwede.
Andy actually designed this, so Andy, our resident driver, who you may hear the voice of very soon, was actually the level designer who put this showcase together. So if anybody can drive it in a perfect fashion, it will be him.
That's Addis.
No pressure. Yeah, thanks.
It's also a new car, isn't it, Andy?
Yeah, this is Ken Block's V2 Escort Cosworth.
Ich würde schon sagen, der ist ein bisschen anders als der
amazing car
alte.
built with sort of modern rally specs in mind, with all the
Ist ein bisschen
aerodynamic
breiter geworden.
insane grip that those cars have these days. And of course, an amazing livery.
Amazing livery, which says Forza Horizon on it as well, which is lovely. Yeah, it's not. Is it like 300 horsepower? It's not like-
Yeah, I think it's 370 horsepower.
Okay, 370. So not crazy powerful, but super lightweight, and can really move. Because it's light as well, the brakes are awesome. So even in some of the tricky driving maneuvers you'll have to pull in a minute, it is possible to slow down really fast.
Yeah, and Ken Block's Gymkhana videos are a massive inspiration for me as well.
Oh wow! What for the
throughout
showcase
creative
event?
process. Yeah,
Oh.
it was something that I considered when I was sort of making it. If Horizon was to make one of the Gymkhana videos, what would we do? So that's the sort of the lens that I looked at for the event.
Huch,
Right.
damit habe ich nicht gerechnet.
Yeah. Perfect timing, right into Guanajuato, which is our main city in the game.
Oh, das ist die Stadt.
There's those good breaks.
And just like we've shown in previous footage, Guanajuato is like super beautiful city with
Point Lord, danke für den
undulating
Follow,
roads
willkommen.
and underground tunnel network. There's actually a mural right there by Spake, one of the mural artists. our Mexican mural artist. And yeah, I just love the color and the architecture, the Baroque and neoclassical architecture.
Es ist echt cool, es ist viel bunter die Stadt als Edinburgh.
One of the most iconic buildings in all of Mexico.
Wow.
It's a stunning building.
Yeah.
You'd storm past it in Hoover. Look at the colours as well. I will never forget you said this to me on stream previously, of all the houses being different shades, and it's so gorgeous.
Yeah, and you can't have the same color house next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Ja, das ist eine ziemlich geile Idee, auf jeden Fall. Okay, der eine hat
I
sich
like that they were
verabschiedet.
taking their own little off routes as well. They're just sort of like coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's the thing about these showcase opponents. They will do anything to win. Always up to tricks, aren't they, Andy?
Yeah. You've always got to keep the player second guessing what's going next.
Oh, absolutely.
Ja, es ist halt leicht verändert. Also die Map sieht relativ gleich aus, also das
So yeah, we'll get
hat
glimpses
links
of the
unten,
canyon.
rechts unten ist leicht anders, leicht verändert.
Whoa. What happened
Oh,
there?
das sieht sehr geil aus.
So
Alter
that bike knew
Schwede.
he was beaten. He knew he didn't have a chance. So he has switched.
Das ist eine heftige Rampe.
The final stretch.
Oh, wow. Oh, very good.
He probably had us beat if he was willing to face plant into the road there. He had to pull his chute, and that allowed
You have to
Andy
make a
seal
choice
the
at
win.
that point, don't you? Whether you want to win or whether you want to survive
Nice.
the race.
Nice Event, gefällt
Oh,
mir.
that was incredible. Can you give us any more hints? Obviously, the showcases are so amazing. Can you give us any hints of maybe other showcases that we've got coming up? Or, I don't know, what you're happy to say?
Well, I don't want to spoil it. We've still got so much more to talk about. We do have 4 showcases in the game. One that I am particularly excited about is the train showcase. We've had a train showcase in every Horizon game.
Ich wollte schon sagen, wenn das fehlt.
The best train showcase showcase we have ever done, and I'm really excited to show it off.
Bin ich sehr gespannt
That is
drauf.
for another day.
I'm looking forward to that. So what are we going to look at next? I think we're going to start talking about some of the cars, and we're starting with one in particular, and that is the Bronco.
Yeah, we can look at the Bronco. Yeah.
Yeah?
So we drove the Bronco to the showcase. We are still in the Bronco now.
Yep.
If the guys want to pick the feedback up.
Der Release offiziell ist am 9. November.
And Haley, one of our characters, has called us up.
Mit der Premium Edition, glaube ich, ab 5. November.
See, we are still in the Bronco. Perfect car for chilling out on a nice leisurely drive like this one, but also a perfect car for heading across the desert or tearing it up through the
Or
jungle.
heading towards that dust storm in the distance.
Or heading towards a dust storm. That is also a totally valid option.
Stimmt, der Sturm ist wieder da.
Is that engulfed the festival? Is those the hot air balloons you can see just in front of you?
Yes, good call actually, Charlie. So we always put those hot air balloons above the festival so that oftentimes you can't see the festival because it might be quite low lying versus your position. But whenever you see the hot air balloons, then you'll know that it's one of the festival sites and you can head over towards them. So it gives you that kind of vertical notification that there's a really cool thing you can go and explore there.
I'd be worried if I was them with this weather looming.
About to get lost in that dust storm, aren't we?
You bought a ticket for the day and you see that in the distance.
Skill Points sind immer noch genauso, würde ich
Andy's
behaupten.
getting a perk.
Perks. Every car has its own set, offering unique bonuses. Skill points.
And there's a very intimidating dust storm looming in the background.
Yeah.
But that is our first view of the Horizon Festival, I think. That's the first time we've shown it.
Care to take a look? My friend Carmen.
So what's Haley talking us through here then? We've just revealed something on the map.
Yes, so still at the start of the game, we've completed that showcase event, we've headed back to the festival.
Das VW-Logo.
And now Haley is giving us the option of taking part in one of these 2 Horizon stories.
Okay.
So the one at the bottom there with the VW badge is called Vocho, where we'll team up with Alejandra, who's one of our Mexican characters, to help her search for a lost abandoned car, which is the Beetle. The Mexican name for the Beetle is the Vocho. The camera icon is a story called El Camino, in which we will team up with a Mexican photographer called Carmen,
Sorry
and we'll head
dafür.
out, in this instance, into the storm, so into that dust storm that we could just see, and take some awesome photos inside the dust storm.
Amazing.
Das sind, glaube ich, coole
Both of
Stories.
those,
Ich glaube,
though,
das wird
are
mir
for
gefallen.
another day, I think.
Oh, I
Gonna go and
see.
some other-
We're not even going to do one of those. All right then.
Another time.
So what is it we're going to jump into
Right.
now then?
I think we're going to dip away.
I'm going to dip the feed. Andy's
Yep.
going to do a quick car swap, and
Yep.
then we will take a better look at the AMG one, I think.
The AMG. Okay, so what can you tell us about the AMG while we're waiting to get it all set up then?
So yes, so alongside the Bronco, it is our other cover car, and frankly, just one of the coolest, most hottest cars in the world right now.
Absolutely.
Ich will sehen, wie die den
It's
Modus switcht, ne?
built by Mercedes-AMG. They've taken all of the incredible technology from their Formula One cars and put it into a car that is entirely road legal and looks absolutely incredible, despite basically having the performance of a.
Ah, da rechts unten sieht
yeah.
man's. Da ist ein Logo. Wenn man den linken
Incredible.
Stick reindrückt, dann kann man den Modus
The shape
wechseln.
of it is stunning.
The shark fin on there, which to me looks like that's there purely to show off, but Andy assures me that there are real performance benefits to it.
And there's this new icon right in the bottom right as well.
Jetzt reden die auch
What's
drüber.
this? Please explain what this is.
So one of the particularly awesome things about this car is if you were to purchase this car, it comes with a couple of modes. And it's quite common for performance cars to have different modes, but they don't.
Oh, sorry, mate.
They don't always. They're not always as cool as this. So on the steering wheel, there's a button that you can press which swaps you from track mode to street mode. So if Andy gives it a click, we're currently in track mode and we'll transition to street mode. So you see those fins over the wheel arch close, the spoiler dips down and the car actually raises on its suspension. So if you need to get over a speed bump or...
Das ist sehr geil. Ich hoffe, die haben das bei mehr Autos drin. Nicht nur bei dem.
It also kind of smooths out some of the lines, looks a bit sleeker. The cool thing about that is you can just click that button whenever as you're driving around the world, and it really changes the performance of the car as well.
I was about to ask how you would like actively use it in Forza actually. Like, was there a Sunday drive version of the car versus a race mode?
That is literally what it is, to be honest.
Oh,
yeah. This probably isn't the place that car would mostly at home, smashing through this poor farmer's polytunnels, wrecking all the crops. But yeah, it kind of shows what the car can do. It's still a really powerful, awesome car, and apparently is perfectly drivable through a farm field.
And as you can tell, we're in a new biome that we haven't shown before, which is the Mexican farm field, which is, I guess, farmland is a staple of Horizon games by now. And
Die KI hängt im LKW aber sehr hinten drin im Heck.
For Horizon 5, we have like some unique Mexican crops, which Andy will drive by. I think we saw him driving through some agave previously.
What are we going to go trash now? What's this?
So these are Mexican beans.
Oh?
Yeah, bean plants.
Have a rough harvest.
Yeah.
Randy around.
I think it's worth saying as
Das
well
wird die Ernte zerstören.
that we are currently looking at Xbox Series X gameplay, but it is a development build. So if you happen to spot any weird little quirks and bugs, then that is purely because it's a
That's game
development build.
development for you.
Yeah. Hey, it might even crash. We'll hopefully.
Let's
Wouldn't
not
be the
tempt
first.
fate with that one.
More beans, and here we have some another crop, sorghum. And the cool thing with sorghum, because it's so tall and you could squash them, you could actually make some really awesome crop signs in the fields.
Leave messages for other players.
You can leave messages for other players, yeah.
Lol.
And contrary to what Andy may have made you believe, there are actually roads within the farmland as well.
It's just like a great car to just toot around everywhere. And just, I don't know. This looks like my go-to sort of, I'm just going to drive really fast over a hill and get somewhere car.
I think right
Wenn das Auto stillsteht, sieht man auch endlich mal mehr von der Umgebung. Es sind die ganze
Oh, we're
verpixelt.
on to the next
Sieht
car,
sehr,
Ari.
sehr
Okay,
nice
so
aus.
the next one, what's this?
Oh,
What are we going to be looking
was
at?
kommt jetzt?
We are going to check out the 967 Mark I Ford Escort. So from going from one of the hottest, newest cars in the world, we're going to take a look at something a little more of a classic motor. And there it is, the
Interessant.
Mark I Ford Escort, an absolute icon.
Kannte ich noch gar
honestly.
nicht.
I think Andy's going to tell us a bit more about this one. Andy, what's cool about this?
Okay, so this is quite a fitting car because this car took part in a rally in 1970 from the UK to Mexico.
Okay.
So I guess that's sort of a Horizon 4 to 5 transition there.
Das passt auf jeden Fall rein, ja.
A 16,000 mile rally across the world there, and and this car won. So it's based on Mark I Escort RS 1600, which they beefed up to handle all of the terrain that it would have to handle across the world, and it did such a fantastic job at it.
Those wheel arches are amazing, aren't they? For the time, they look really kind of modern.
Yeah, so the big bubble style rally arches. It's got on the front of it, if I try and not hit anything, the big bull bar. sort of rough bumper on the back as well, and the little individual lights which are different to the factory car as well. So everything just to make it, you know, as easy to fix on the road as possible.
Ich finde optisch nicht so geil, aber meine macht Sinn für die Zeit damals, wie der aufgebaut
Yeah,
ist.
so we've just transitioned from farmland through a little bit of jungle, and now we're actually at the tropical coast. I think
Ich glaube, das wird eine meiner Lieblingslocations hier. Das sieht so geil aus.
Car switch right now.
Oh, wait, look at that.
Yeah.
As just as we dip the feed, we'll look at that. We'll take a look at that in a second.
Okay, so up next is another car, and this is going to be, I'm gonna say it, another Bronco.
This is, yes, this is another Bronco.
Ach, der.
There are
Ja,
actually
der
4
wurde doch schon
separate
gezeigt,
versions of
oder nicht im
the Bronco
Trailer?
in the game. All awesome, all have their own personalities and reasons for being there. This one's a Baja one, isn't it, Andy? This is
Yes,
it.
that's right.
Yes, we have obviously the Bronco Badlands is on the cover. We have the classic 1975 Bronco. We have the Bronco Ultra 4, which was actually in the initial drive as well. You kind of do a jump over the Porsche 911 in the jungle section. And then there's this one, which is the...
Erstmal den ganzen Strand zerstören. Warum auch nicht?
These people are on holiday.
Die armen Leute.
So yeah, the tropical coast is definitely one compared to the west, the rocky coast. Definitely like the ideal kind of vacation destination. You know,
Yeah.
the ideal visual that you see when thinking of Mexico.
And as perfect postcard it does look at the moment, if you're playing in storm season, this is one of the areas that can, when the weather conditions are right, can have tropical storms, which turn it from this perfect paradise into a really kind of like intense, exciting, and visceral like storm experience.
Wow.
Which is a really cool thing to just drive through.
The idea of calling it a perfect paradise after Andy's been through.
I know, right?
Mal gespannt, weil die den tropischen Sturm mal richtig
It's
zeigen.
ironic, isn't it?
I guess yeah, we'll do another.
Another car change.
Yeah.
So many car changes here. So the next one,
zeig mal
where
was
are we
richtig
going
Neues.
next? What have we got?
We have got the Ford F450 Super Duty, which is a pretty exciting car for us as well, isn't it? It's an absolutely massive truck. It's a dually as well, so it's got 4 wheels on that back axle, like two wheels side by side.
Auf jeden Fall interessant. Interessantes
Means it's
Fahrzeug.
got, like ridiculous grunt in the back. It can go over any terrain.
Aber jetzt nicht das, was ich mir vorgestellt hätte.
Absolutely massive.
That is a big.
Aber es ist ziemlich geil, muss ich sagen. Das ist ein geiles Teil.
So what's that? I mean, to me, that tells me that's an off-road vehicle, right? I'm trying to think, like, in a very sort of way, like, what I would pick this car to do, like, cross-country or those sort of, like, off-road races, right?
I think certainly in the game, that is probably where you take it. I think in real life, you'd probably... It could also be a work truck or even an everyday truck if you're a truck person. But yeah, it's certainly... It's got that Ford
Ich glaube aber, der wird
DNA,
nicht mal so gut in Rennen sein, weil mit den 4 Reifen
built for
hinten.
off-road, built for
Ich glaube, der wird nicht so gut in die Kurven
doing
rumkommen.
work in it, built for chucking
Könnte
a
ich mir
camping
vorstellen.
gear in the back or a jet ski or something.
Everyone's camping gear in the back.
Hopefully we stumble upon one of our ambient trucks or buses around the world so you can see just how big this thing is.
It is massive.
Yeah, it's a 6.7 litre diesel engine. It's got 1,000 foot-pound of torque, which is just
Whoa.
insane. You could pull your whole house along.
Mein Tier ist leer, scheiße.
Right, fit your house in the bed on the back.
Or that, yeah.
With our little English houses.
True American vehicle.
And where is it?
Erst das Motorrad zerlegt.
So we are in the arid hills, which is perfect to show off the off-roading and power of this F450. Yeah, we're in the arid hills, and the arid hills it's very kind of wild with these dense pockets of trees, which makes it really fun to when you're beelining across the world to kind of just dodge some trees and hit some smashable ones. So it's a very engaging experience for driving around, and obviously you see there's a bunch of undulation as well. The arid hills actually sits just outside of Guanajuato, so that's why Guanajuato is so undulating, because it's sat in
Die Brise ja neben dem kleinen Offroader da wird.
For Eliminator, to grab a good off-road car with a bit of suspension movement and then just lurk around here, and any unsuspecting car which doesn't have that suspension movement.
Ich finde es geil, dass man immer diese Berge im Hintergrund sieht, immer Berge irgendwo am Rand der Map. Also am Horizont.
Where you all just set each other in the Eliminator.
That is absolutely what we do. That's Friday afternoons.
Love it. Is there any like unbeaten champions at the moment?
No, there's not anyone unbeaten. It's quite hard, I think, to stay unbeaten and eliminate when there's so many players.
And then here we're transitioning into the canyon biome.
And we haven't seen the canyon yet
Canyon,
either on stream,
interessant.
have we?
No,
da
we haven't
fährt,
seen it since-
das ist die
since the
Zugstrecke.
demo.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
it's an absolutely. Andy.
Tried to park my house. Right.
Oh,
Switch to
yeah, well,
Yeah.
Switch up.
So we're going to go through
Oh,
the
nächstes
canyon
Fahrzeug.
with another new car. And what's this one going to be?
So we saw a few Fords.
Yeah.
Now we're going to check out the Porsche Macan Rally Raid. So this, as you can see,
Okay.
is this isn't a Macan as you would pick up
kennen
from
wir
the
auch schon.
showroom. This is one that's been built by LP Racing, as it says on the back, who are actually kind of an aftermarket provider of motorcycle parts for like really performance motorcycles, but they also have a motorsports arm that do
Das Gefühl, wir werden heute noch
motorcycle
nicht
racing
die
and also,
volle Car-List sehen.
endurance car racing, and this is one of the
Zeigen noch
cars
nicht so
that's
viel
built for-
Neues.
Is it for the Baja?
This is more sort
Also
of
von
Dakar
den
stuff.
Autos her.
Sorry.
But,
Um,
yeah, it's quite cool. It's if the Escort Mexico was the sort of 1960s version, this is the modern version of the go anywhere, endure everything racing style.
Wie die KI da runtergesprungen ist.
the Land Rover Defender just feeling like he can go anywhere he wants.
I think he saw you in his rearview mirror.
Yeah. I showed him how to do it.
So, Dom, what can you tell us about the canyons as we go through it here? It's absolutely
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah, so the canyon's really all about scale and just the impressive rock cliff faces, and
That's
kind
what I
of
was
just.
thinking.
Die Canyons sind
Yeah,
wirklich sehr geil.
It's actually
Sehr geil, ich kann
during
nicht mehr
sunset
reden.
and sunrises, you get amazing sunlight. So I know for photographers, it's a great area to get some
Lovely.
photography.
Yeah, because of those huge like rock cliff faces as well, it's like one of the best locations in the game to really take advantage of the ray traced audio. So if you're in a car like this and you're flying along next to this rocky wall, you can just hear the sound of your engine like bouncing off the wall and coming
Yeah,
back at
yeah.
you, which really makes everything feel like you're nestled in a real place. Sneak peek of the train tracks
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, yeah.
Sehr viele Pickup-Trucks hier unterwegs gerade.
Just looks like a really fun place to drive through. It's like, because of the hills, it doesn't tell me there's a lot of shortcuts over this area. So actually, it's the type of place where you just enjoy being on the road.
Yeah, it is right. This is one of the places where in real life you'd go there just for the drive.
Exactly.
Yeah, you weren't actually going anywhere. You just drove
Ja,
there,
definitiv.
drove the roads, and then we're like, let's drive it back
So a
again.
couple of bit of
Da würde ich
nature.
definitiv auch in echt lang fahren wollen, das ist sehr, sehr geil.
Yeah.
Oh, train track again.
There we go. Do you know where you're going, Andy?
Just about.
I mean, that's the great thing about the canyon. You have like a good off-road experience, plus you have a good on-road experience as
Yeah.
well. In parallel.
Let's try and get back on road again.
Oh, train track again. Don't stay there too long.
Komm, zeig noch eins. Würde gerne noch einen richtigen
Ja,
Kracher
Gonna
sehen, das
check
wäre
out
geil.
another car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we've got one more to
Yes,
go
please.
through. And this is staying in the Porsche family, this one, isn't it now?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
So that one was the Porsche Macan. That was a purpose-built racing machine. This
Also noch ein
one
Porsche
is
jetzt, oder
a
was?
car that
Ah, Taycan,
it's not an
hey!
everyday car, but it's one that normal people can purchase if they walked into a Porsche dealer, unlike the previous vehicles. This is the Porsche Taycan Turbo S, which is Porsche's brand new performance electric vehicle.
So actually, the
Brand new,
second
den gibt's auch
electric
schon
car
2
on
Jahre.
stream today as well.
Yes, so the AMG One is a hybrid, so it's got an electric motor. This is 100% electric, and it's
Man
it's
hört's.
frankly a fantastic car. So the way Porsche have approached this with their very first EV is they wanted to recreate the driving experience of a 911, but in an electric vehicle, and that's especially difficult because it obviously has to have a massive battery.
Mir fehlt aber echt
and weighs
Tesla
around
als
2.4
Counterpart, das wäre doch
tons.
geil.
Wow.
Weil der
Despite
Porsche braucht noch
that,
einen
pretty
elektrischen Rivalen im
incredible,
Spiel.
weight.
Das fehlt so ein
It-
bisschen.
0 to 60s in 2.6 seconds, top speed 160. It's I haven't had the joy of driving one, unfortunately, but apparently drives basically just like a 911, which is a fairly lightweight sports
Ooh.
car.
Sorry.
Sorry, mate. Yeah. I
It's nice to know Andy drives like me too.
Yeah, I thought I was in the UK again.
Celebrity owners include Will Smith.
Oh.
And apparently, someone told me just before we came on air, Bill Gates has one as well.
Oh, as you do.
Yeah, so perhaps not the car for everybody, but it's
but maybe your dreams can one day come true.
Exactly.
And if not, Forza Horizon 5 out in November. Play it then.
Great plug, Charlie.
Thank you.
Remembering why we're all here.
Thank you. Like that little area on the corner there.
So you've driven it, Andy. Does it do it? Did it feel like a 911?
Oh, absolutely. It's yeah,
Yeah.
incredible car.
One thing I wanted to point out here was butterflies.
Butterflies?
So, yeah, so actually, during a certain season in Mexico, there's a big
Schmetterlinge.
monarch butterfly migration that happens in the canyon areas. So
Sehr
yeah,
geil.
we kind of represented that in our game as well.
This is such a stunning, like, additional element.
Es wäre doch geil, wenn man
Really
still steht, dass die
easy.
dann auf
You
deinem
go
Auto
and
landen und da
stop
einfach
here,
sitzen,
you
solange du
see
dich nicht
that
bewegst.
people are, like, bombing through it all. That's
Kannst du schöne
cool,
Fotos
I
machen
love
mit
it.
Schmetterlingen auf dem Auto.
Yeah, so you'll experience this in the spring season,
Uh-huh.
and then it won't be there in spring, obviously, but yeah.
Lovely. I think we wanted to drop one more because there was one more bit we wanted to show.
One more thing,
I don't
one
know
more
how
thing.
to set this up. What do you guys want? What are we going to do now?
So we actually revealed this car on social media last week, and we just thought it'd be cool to give it a very, very, very brief run around. So this is
There
the
it is.
Sierra RX3. It's a UTV, so super off-road vehicle, but it also is actually really high performance on asphalt as well. It can do both types of racing. Incredible.
Ich meine, schon wie cool der
suspension
Kleine.
power if anyone wants to give it a whirl.
Oh.
But instantly spin it into a barrier. Yeah.
A lot of power going to the rear wheels only, so it's a bit of a handful. Yeah, but there's just we're heading up into the arid hills now, which again is just the I think the perfect location to show some of the cool stuff that this particular car can do. As Andy decides
Oh,
to.
oh, Andy.
Scheiß auf die Kurve, einfach geradeaus.
All right, and there we go.
Amazing.
Und Ende.
That's a very authentic Forza experience. Thank you so much, Andy. Right, well, with that, we're actually going to move over to arguably one of my favorite parts of the stream. We are now going to look at some community questions. The questions today are going to come from chat. So if you haven't typed a question into chat yet, make sure you do it now and it might get answered on stream. The other half, the first half, are actually going to come from Twitter and your social posts, where this week you asked Dear Forza and what people wanted to know. So up first, we've got a question from Fireheart561 who asks, who's Hayley and what happened to Kira?
That can't be from Twitter because we only just revealed who Hayley is on this.
Oh, well, that's a good mark that right now.
yeah. So Kira is still looking after the festival in Britain.
Okay.
She's still at the Forza Horizon 4 festival. Hayley is her good friend who is filling a similar role at the Mexico.
Okay, keine
She's
Kira,
one
ne?
of the
Sure.
first group of Horizon people who've arrived in Mexico to set up this new festival.
Perfect. Wonderful. I've now dawned on me that these questions are actually from chat. So if we keep that in mind going forward, we'll forget the bit I just said. The next question comes from Mink WR, who asks, I have a question. Is the game cross-play so Xbox users can join PC users?
Yes.
War das nicht schon im letzten Teil so?
Steam will function the same way Forza Horizon 4 did, so it won't be cross-save, but it will be cross-play.
Perfect. Wonderful. Nice and simplistic. Right. Next question
Nichts
comes
anderes
from
gerechnet
Wolf
mit.
Sealers, who asks, will we be able to toggle our cars as a favorite?
Yes. Yes, you will. It will function very similar to how it did in Forza Horizon 4.
Wonderful.
Gab's
I love
doch
that
genauso
it's just
vorher
like a really
schon.
passionate community making sure that all of their favorite features are still there. That's essentially what this segment is. I love it. Okay, the next one comes from Oof. Thank you. Who asks, is there a moving train on the map? Yes, there is. We have mentioned it, but I don't know if you
Haben wir
want
doch
to
auch
give some more
schon
detail
gesehen.
while Oof is in chat.
Die Fragen
about
heute sind
that,
wieder nicht
about the
besonders
train.
gut, muss ich
Do you
sagen.
want to take that one?
I mean, there is.
I can't talk about the train.
We just
so.
saw the train track in the canyon there.
Yes.
We've also mentioned that you will race against it in the showcase event, so yes. Yeah.
There is a train.
Wonderful. And the final question from chat seems to come from King Sean, who simply asks, is that a Supra?
Yes, Sean, it was a Supra. Back at the start of the
Sehr
stream,
gute Fragen
you
auf jeden
showed
Fall.
Supra in the
Also,
car select.
Applaus.
That will be added to your garage at the start of the game for everybody.
Perfect. Now, these are the questions that did actually come from social media. The first one comes from Forza Horizon 5 UK, who asks, will we get Forza Horizon stories, and if so, how many? So we've seen a couple today, but can you share
Haben
any
wir
more
schon gesehen,
information?
dass
Yes,
es
we
welche
saw a
gibt.
couple. We saw Vocho and we saw El Camino. There are several more in the game. I'm gonna hold fire on that one though and cover that one in a later stream, I think. So yes, Horizon Stories are absolutely still.
Okay, verrät er noch nicht, wie viele es sind.
They're bigger and better than ever before, but I think we'll cover that off in a later stream.
Lovely. The next question comes from Rare Gliscor 1, who says, how extensive is the tunnel system under Guanajuato? And are there entrances to the city from outside through those tunnels?
So there are no entrances through those tunnels into the city, but
Okay.
it is the most extensive tunnel network in the game. It's about 2 kilometers
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 2
of length.
kilometers.
Yeah, so
2
a lot of-
Kilometer,
lot of
okay.
tunnel.
Wonderful. Scottish Pancake asks, Dear Forza, I love this question is so polite. Dear Forza, I do not know if you've answered this question before, but but what seasons will be in Forza Horizon 5? Will they be the same as Forza Horizon 4, or will they be entirely new and different seasons introduced to correlate with the new setting?
That is a thorough question, which
That
gives
is-
us little room for manoeuvre other than answering it
That's,
directly.
if someone
really.
typed that on social media, that's the most eloquent I've ever seen someone be on social
Probably 2
media.
tweets.
Yeah,
Um,
count the
Great
characters
handle
on
as
that.
well, Scottish Pancakes. So yes, seasons are still very much an important part of the game. I think we mentioned a few times about different things you can see in different seasons. We, as posed in the question, yes, we have tried to replicate the seasonality of Mexico. We have.
Ich fällt gerade auf die
in-game,
Schuhe
so
von
in-game
dem,
it'll still say
ich
spring, summer,
habe seinen Namen
autumn,
vergessen, von dem
but then
Typen,
each one of them is
passen auch so ein bisschen zum
suffixed
Controller und so.
with, a line that explains what it is in that country. So autumn is storm season,
Oh, I see,
winter
okay.
is dry season, spring is hot season, and summer is wet season, which allows people from a temperate climate like us in Europe or in Canada like Don to be
Es
like,
wird auf jeden Fall sehr
what even are
interessant mit den
seasons?
Jahreszeiten, wie
And
die
it
sich
kind
da
of, like
ändern.
right out of the box it says
Das
like
zu erleben.
winter is dry season, so you can kind of grasp straight away and kind of get a feel for what it's going to be like there. 'Cause
Sure.
they have hardly any rainfall at all throughout the winter. in
Interesting,
Mexico.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but weirdly though, at the same time, at elevation they do get snow. So
We've
on,
seen that on the volcano, right?
yeah, exactly. So high areas like on top of the volcano, you'll still get snow.
Yeah, I think it also helps you let you know what season's next, you know, the following week. Just having
Yes, yeah.
you know,
yeah.
spring, winter, summer, autumn.
Wonderful. So the next question comes from Cyrus Luna, who asks, I think that might be Sirius Luna actually, will there be a drift adventure at launch?
Yes, there will, Sirius Luna. So we have. It won't be. We've changed multiplayer a bit, so it's not online adventure anymore. It's now called the Horizon Open, and you'll be able to take on racing, games, drift, or the Eliminator as part of that. It's all been reframed to be as accessible and easy to get into, and easy to have a lot of fun in as possible.
Perfect.
Okay,
love that.
klingt interessant.
Next question comes from Kiesler, who asks, we know about the new brake caliper painting, but will there be other upgrades to the paint/vinyl system?
Yes, so Don, do you wanna?
Yeah, so we reworked a lot of how the vinyls and paint system works. We streamlined it a lot just to give the users and players a lot more ease of use. So yeah, a lot of improvements there.
And if you're on Series S or X, we've also massively increased the resolution of your of your car paints as well. So whereas you used to get like kind of fuzzy lines around the edges of your decals, that'll be much smoother now if you're on a Series S
lovely.
or X.
Das
Brilliant,
klingt gut,
love
das wäre auf jeden Fall
Next question, what's
hilfreich.
the leveling system like? Is it like 3 with a certain number of levels, or are we going to have a prestige-based leveling system like 4? Curious to know.
Yes, so we are going to cover the campaign in more detail on the next stream in 2 weeks' time.
Lovely.
But to answer the question more directly, the actual player leveling system is more like Forza Horizon 4's. The campaign is quite different though, so we'll cover that off in the next stream.
Want to watch, if you want to come back and watch that one. Next question
Okay.
from asks, can you tell us more about the radio stations?
Yeah, so we actually heard a bit of music, didn't we, earlier on in the show as part of the initial drive. We heard there were actually original compositions for 3 sections of the initial
nice.
drive there, from Plague Vendor in the farmland section to Luxury in the jungle section and Metric in the final section. And there's quite a few more original compositions throughout the game where we've contacted artists who typically have been a part of Horizon in the past, where we've licensed some of their music and asked them if they could create brand new pieces for
Das
us
heißt,
that are curated to
es
the
gibt
gameplay
hoffentlich
experience.
weniger,
In
nicht
terms of
Strikes,
the
sondern
radio station more
Copyright-Verwarnungen.
broadly, we'll go into more detail now on a future stream, I think.
Perfect.
Wenn
I wanna
die
know a lot
extra
about
für das
that
Spiel
as well,
gemacht wurden, ein
so
paar
keep
Tracks.
posted on that. Finally, I understand we have a question from a celebrity, our old friend Tommy Bargains, who asked, I won't do the accent, they want to know, I can't wait to enjoy Forza Horizon 5. Thank you, Tommy. I tried negotiating with Playground Games to get super early access, but they drive a hard bargain. Is there a way I can somehow feel the magic of Forza Horizon 5 in Forza Horizon 4 today?
Yes, Tommy Bargains. Yes, there is. That is a thing that you can do. So if you log into Forza Horizon 4 now, go over to Message Center, or at least I hope it's now. Go over to Message Center, and you will have received a gift. That gift is a VW Golf R, but it's not just any normal VW Golf R. This is one that has been adorned with a beautiful livery created by using some of our murals from Forza Horizon 5. So you can get.
Also könnt ihr euch bei Forza 4 einloggen und das Ding da abholen.
Right now.
Bei den Nachrichten.
Tommy Bargains, I guess.
Yeah, Tommy. Well, there you have it. If you don't have Forza Horizon 4, you can actually go download it from Game Pass right now if you didn't already know. So for Tommy and everyone else who does, please keep an eye on your in-game message center to receive this beautiful mural art-inspired liveried car. And unfortunately, that is all we have time for today. So to keep up with the latest Forza Horizon 5 news, updates, and details on more Let's Go live streams by following the Forza Horizon social channels. And please stay tuned to the Forza channels tomorrow for Forza Monthly for all the latest on the Forza universe.
Stimmt, Forza Monthly ist auch noch morgen.
See you next time. As always, everyone, adios.
Das werde ich aber wahrscheinlich nicht streamen. Denke ich zumindest gerade. So. Leiser. Ich bedanke mich auch fürs Zuschauen. Lasst gerne noch ein Follow da, falls ihr das noch nicht getan habt. Ich werde Forza 5 nämlich streamen, wenn es rauskommt. Wenn alles klappt, ich hoffe es. Und wir sehen uns hoffentlich in einem nächsten Stream wieder. Ich hoffe noch diese Woche, mal schauen. Ich weiß noch nicht genau wann. Ich habe leider gerade schwierig da einzuschätzen, wann ich was schaffe. Aber ja, danke nochmal fürs Zuschauen. Wir sehen uns hoffentlich beim nächsten Mal. Bis dann, haut rein und ciao, ciao.